Within the record, you can have a variety of different fields. They can be custom user fields, they can be single line text, drop downs. Um, we have 21 different fields to choose from within our drag and drop utilities. So anything you want, you can basically do within Kintone. I'll hop into these settings for you so you can actually see how the application is built. Within the edit form, again, there are the 21 different fields you can choose from. Within these 21 different fields, you can actually link up your different applications as well. So with the related records and as well as with the lookup fields, you can have the application speak to each other and transfer their data. With the related records, it's a one-to-one relationship, so it can automatically populate based on the values. With the lookup, you're going to choose a particular record and strip out certain fields and auto-populate them within another application. Down here, we have an example of it. It's time spent. If you hop into the settings, you can see how it relates. Down in the data source app, you have all your apps that you could choose from within this domain. Right now, we're linking up this projects application to this timesheets application. So within the timesheets, our fetch criteria, our one-to-one relationship is the project name. And down below, the data source app fields to display, which are all the fields that you want to automatically populate, are listed below. All the fields within the application are available for you to select, so you can have as many as you want, such as if we wanted to add the status. You can have it right there, and it'll show it. Again, all of these fields, such as the single line text, they all have very common common field attributes like hide field name, calculations, whether it's a required field. Speaking of calculations, we do have calculation fields as well. If you drag one over here, and if you go into the settings, we have formulas over here. It's basic summation, addition, subtraction, division, multiplication. It's very basic, but if you want more complex calculations based on certain parameters, then we have JavaScript as well for you to apply code to it. In addition, you can have it in different types of formats, date, times, hours, minutes. You have other attributes as well, such as decimal places and currencies, prefixes and suffixes. In addition to the regular fields, such as drop-downs and check boxes and multi-choices, we have the user selection fields. With the user selection fields, you can go into your user database and actually target certain users or work groups. So over here into the settings, we can set a default value. Again, we can target entire sales groups, custom groups, which can be cross-functional. You can put anyone into this product team A, or you can even put it into the logged-in users. So it's very dynamic in who you can select. It doesn't have to be a static person, is what I'm trying to get at. In addition, we also have attachment fields. These are limited to 100 megabytes, but we do have partner integrations with Box and Dropbox in case you need more file storage solutions. So if we hop back out into the application, we'll go back and take a look at what the form looks like when you're entering in data. So again, we'll close the comment box and go into the edit field. And here you can see how you would interact with the application. This is the basic web format of it. Bit IDs, you can change it to whatever number you want. Attach documents as you see fit, as well as target certain team members. We'll add Ellen, Jose, and Mark. And there you have them attached to your project. In addition, there's a linked up related records field. So this project record is actually linked to a bunch of timesheets. I'm going to hop to the timesheets in just a second. I'd like to show you the collaboration piece of it. In addition to just having the data online and being able to attach a workflow or change the values, you have your commenting features as well. You can tag people in it, and they'll receive mobile notifications on their iOS or Android device. Um, as well as there's a full audit trail of everything that's happened to this record. Um, if you scroll down, you can see every single change that's happened to this record since its creation, including, changing the workflow statuses or even changes in value. We'll hop into a timesheet record. And again, this is just another example of an application. This one in particular has a table full of fields, and with tables you can obviously add rows of data. I'll go into the edit mode so you can see that more clearly. So within this table we have fields such as date, time fields, more time fields, and some calculation fields. All of these are calculations and they're done automatically, as well as single line text and attachment fields. If you'd like to add more rows or delete them, it's pretty easy. As I said before, you can link up applications together, not just through related records, which does the one-to-one relationship. You can actually do a manual lookup. So with the lookup feature, I'm going to clear this out really quickly. But we can do a lookup into the projects application, and we can actually set it to a certain project and attach it to that one. So maybe Helen Perez's timesheet wants to be attached to Nob Hill now. So there we have it. Data lookup succeeded. And if we go back into Nob Hill, we'll see her record appear. There we have Helen Perez's timesheet right there. So this is an example of linking up your applications. So we're trying to manage two different workflows here. We're trying to manage timesheets as well as the project. And you want these things to speak to each other. You can interlink as many applications as you want through the lookups and related records fields. It's really up to you. It's how you want to build your business process and your business structure. I'm going to hop into more of the settings of the applications themselves. In addition to just creating an application, you can actually create very in-depth workflows through our process management utility. I'll hop to this example over here. So initially over here you have a list of different statuses. This is a very light list. It's maybe 4 or 5 steps. But the strength of our workflow is that you can target certain users, entire sales groups, or even custom user fields. So within this Kintone domain, we have a custom user field called manager. If you assign someone's manager, you can actually even target them within the workflow. It's very dynamic in the way you can choose people. Again, you can choose entire product teams or specific people. Besides targeting users, you can actually use the branch criteria, which targets fields, and you can filter it through Kintone. This is an example of splitting up the workflow through company size. So with company sizes, maybe 20 through 250, you'd like it sent to SMB quotation. And down here, a different person would be responsible. For example, Bill Smiles. And based on company sizes that are far larger, it'll go to enterprise quotation, and Mark Peters would be responsible for those. So based on all of the fields within your application, you can target any one of those and divide it up. This field, company size, is a drop-down, so it has certain values already selected. But if you choose other values, such as created date time, you have the basic equations and the basic times. Current time, today, previous month. So you can actually target pretty well. Values as well, numbers as well as single line text. You can filter it through with this branch criteria feature. So within this workflow, it can hop around. Obviously, it keeps on moving to SMB quotations and enterprise quotations, and it can end up in different places as well. So this would be choosing the next status it would move to, and this is the action button. So the action button and the status do not have to they don't have to match up exactly, because action buttons can be completely different from the status. I'm going to hop back out into the settings and show you a little bit more. So besides the process management, we have, creating graphs and charts. Let's see. Um, Go to this timesheets example because we have a couple made already. With the graphs and charts, you can whatever you can make in Excel, you can basically make within Kintone. But the difference between Excel and Kintone is all of these charts and graphs are live based on the data within your application. So for example, you have different chart types. You have a lot of basics here, pivot tables, pie charts, and then you have your different levels that you choose. Maybe we'll go total hours worked, as well as by total square feet done. So this is an example of a stacked bar chart, and it's kind of calculating what every single user's been doing. Let's go to associate. So we can check how many hours have been worked by associate in the stacked bar chart. Besides just making this chart, you have filtering options as well as sorting options to limit your view within the chart. The benefit of this is these charts and graphs, they can actually be put up within Kintone announcement boards or within certain spaces. So you can have a custom dashboard and you can have easy access to the records immediately. I'll hop out into the projects and give you an example of how you can view it. So we have different threads within our workspaces, and if I click into this thread, what I've done over here is I've actually targeted an application and just posted up all of these different charts for people to access. And again, all these are live and they're changing based on the values within your applications. If you click into one of these charts, you can go directly into the records. So it's a very easy way of accessing filtered information. Okay. I'm going to hop back to the settings. Again, I talked about very granular permission controls. Our permission controls go from the application layer to the record layer, all the way to the field layer. So if you don't want a specific person seeing a specific set of data in a certain record, you can block them out from it. Most of the three options are obviously view, edit, and deleting information. At the application layer, we have a couple more options. You can import and export as well as manage the application. Importing and exporting, you can import from CSV sheets as well as Excel sheets. I'll hop back out into settings and show you the notifications. With the notifications, we have two different types. We have status notifications and reminder notifications. Status notifications can be based off value changes within your fields. So maybe once a field is changed or a date is inserted, then you can have an automatic notification pop off telling someone to pay attention to this record or move it along in the workflow. So we'll create an example right here. For example, maybe if the current status is in bidding process, we'd like to notify myself and move along the workflow status. So if I save this notification, whenever someone moves the status along, I'll be notified through my mobile as well as through Kintone. I'm running a little short on time, so I'm going to hop out into the collaboration piece. So that was the basics of the applications and the creation, as well as some of the features. But we'll hop back down into the collaborations piece. So this is what we call the portal page. We have an announcement board over here where you can attach applications, links, whatever kind of pictures or text that you want. So this announcement board will be domain-wide. Everyone will see it. But if you actually hop into certain spaces, this is where you can group people up. Down here we have the members of this space. You can add entire work groups. You can add entire work groups or particular people. So spaces don't have to be limited to departments. They can be cross-functional, and you can add applications in there that people can work in. So these applications are within the industrial project management example. These applications are only limited to the members within this space. The difference between the spaces and the company and the domain-wide applications is, the domain-wide applications, everyone can access these. But if you hop into the space, you can privatize your applications and your data to the certain work group or, the certain members. In addition, you have different threads you can open up. Again, you can add applications, links. It's just like an announcement board. It's a rich text field in which you can edit. I'm gonna hop back onto the portal page, and part of the automated workflow feature that we have is the assign to me task. So if you create a automated workflow and you have people attached to these certain statuses, it'll always show up in their assigned to me so they can see their tasks for the day. So within this project database, I'm assigned to a certain number of records. I have one record here, and if I click into it, I can see that I'm the one assigned. It's at the status evaluation called scheduled, and I can move it on from there. So that's part of the workflow automation piece. It's a good way of keeping track of what you're responsible for within each application. Okay. Wanted to open it up for questions. If you have any questions along the platform,